hey guys, if you actually make contact with a person who is smoking illegal cannabis, does that make them armed and dangerous under Terry versus Ohio? Great question. My name is Anthony Bandiero. I'm an attorney and senior legal instructor for Blue Gold Law Enforcement Training, bringing you another Roadside Chat. So this question comes from a park ranger, a federal park ranger in Texas. I believe, yeah, it's a federal park ranger. So the officer has a two-part question. Okay, the first one is that the original violation is a parking lot violation. Okay, so a parking violation. Okay, all right, fine. We make contact with him. Maybe he's straddling two lines, or he's parked in a handicapped spot. No problem. Okay, is it your opinion that a person who smokes, marijuana, personal use, let's say that we contact, we can smell the marijuana, hell, maybe they're smoking the cigarette as we are approaching, is that enough? Is that reasonable suspicion for armed and dangerous? And the answer is no, right? I mean, no. Armed and dangerous comes from Terry versus Ohio. And the standard there is not high, but it's particularized, where you have objective facts to believe that this person's a danger to you while you're conducting your investigation. Well, where is the evidence that this person who happens to be a marijuana smoker is a danger to the officer? Where is the aggressive behavior? Where is the rolling up the window and not complying with orders? Where is they keep dropping their hand from the wheel and not putting it back on the steering wheel? Where is you running the tag and the person, the registered owner, comes back with a violent criminal history and so forth? Where are those factors? I don't see them here. So if we go to court and say, Your Honor, absolutely, pot smokers are dangerous people, I'm going to start patting them down as a matter of routine. That's not going to work. I got to tell you, speaking of Texas, I was teaching in Texas, and I had some park rangers there, and state park rangers, and he's like, or the wildlife guys, right? Hunting and so forth. And they're like, well, if we don't consider our hunters armed and dangerous when we contact them. And I'm like, that's a very good point, right? Because these people actually have firearms strapped on their back, or maybe, they also oftentimes have a pistol on their hip, rifle, pistol for self-defense. And they're not disarming them as a matter of routine. They don't consider them armed and dangerous, and they are armed, but they're just not what? Dangerous, right? They're armed, they're just not dangerous. And so, law enforcement officers sometimes have to get a kind of a grip on this hypervigilance issue, right? That the whole world's out to kill them. I understand that it's a dangerous job, absolutely. But it does nobody any good when we're on pins and needles thinking that lurking around every corner, there's a murderer out there to get you. And pot smokers are probably more like a sloth than a cheetah. I digress. The second thing is, okay, fine. Let's say we don't have armed and dangerous. But while they're talking to the suspect 3 to 5 feet away from the suspect's vehicle, the officer says, hey, do you have any weapons on you or, in your car? And he says, oh yeah, I got a knife. I got a knife in the car, right? Does that now give enough circumstances and so forth, objective circumstances, to make the person armed and dangerous? And let's go back to the point. What is armed and dangerous? Objective facts that the person is a danger to the officers. Having a knife in a vehicle, especially a knife at a person who at a park, which is probably very common, right? You're in the wilderness, you have a knife for cutting string, camping and so forth. Does that make that person dangerous? Of course not. I mean, no. I mean, you're right. I mean, what if they had a chainsaw in the back? The point is that what we're looking for is something more than these like automatic knife equals danger, gun equals danger. If a gun is automatically dangerous, then what are you doing with the off-duty cop that you pull over for speeding? And he says, how you doing, sir? Just to let you know, I got my off-duty on me. Here's my badge. Is that cop patting him down and tossing his car for more weapons? No, right? The answer is no. Oh, but that's different, Anthony. He's a police officer. I can trust him. Okay, is that what you're going to go to court with? That you can trust other fellow officers, but you can't trust members of the public? I mean, that seems like a stereotype that's not defensible. I mean, there's a lot of good people. In fact, every single year, random people jump into conflicts that police officers are having with other people and help protect officers. They protect officers. The point is, let's look at the here and now stuff. So the answer is no. So before we kind of end off on this, I want to share with you what we teach at Blue Gold. We teach something called Strive for 5. Strive for 5 is a kind of a way of thinking about your articulation. We try to teach cops, hey, if you're going to pat somebody down, if you're going to frisk their vehicle, if you're going to, have reasonable suspicion that they're involved in criminal activity, can you come up with 5 reasons or more about why do you think they actually are dangerous or involved in criminal activity? I'm not saying you need it, but it pushes cops to start thinking of more stuff and actually, and not inventing, by the way. Some people may see this video, but, oh, Anthony, are you just encouraging people to make stuff up? Absolutely not. What I'm encouraging officers is to actually look at the situation and not just think, oh, violent criminal history, armed and dangerous, right? What about the person who went to prison, got out and found Jesus and is running a nonprofit or is actually a good person now and has been truly rehabilitated? They do exist, right? What about that person? Are they now still armed and dangerous? The answer is no. Where is the here and now stuff? Where is the abnormal nervousness? Where's the guilty mind kind of evidence? Where's the deception? Where's the flight? Where is the specifics about them or the environment? What's about their odd reactions? Hey, do you have any weapons in the vehicle? I don't think so. That's kind of an odd response, right? Is there any drugs in the vehicle? You know what? There shouldn't be, but my friend was in the car earlier. That's the type of stuff that I'm asking cops to think about as they're going through their search and seizure situations. Strive for 5. Sometimes you won't need 5. Sometimes you need 2 big ones. But the point is, articulate more, not less. Okay? Okay. With that, my friends, I'm going to ask that you visit bluetogold.com. Check us out. We are the dominant players in the search and seizure space. We know our stuff. We have books for every state. We have Drugs on Wheels, the best interdiction book. We have tons of new classes coming out. I think on the calendar, last time I checked, we have 160 classes scheduled right now. Nobody does more training than us when it comes to search and seizure. Check us out. Okay? All right. And with that, hit the like button, please. Share with your friends. And subscribe to the channel. And until next time, my friends, you stay safe.